So I've basically started now on my ceiling. I bought wood from Lowe's for my ceiling joists, and I don't know what it is about Lowe's, but every time I buy wood from Lowe's, it comes warped, and sometimes it's distorted in all sorts of different ways. So that's been a bit of a struggle. I've been trying to kind of put it into place and then bend it back, and that's been taking me a little bit of time, but I finally got my flooring starting to go down on the second floor of our building. So today I'm going to finish the flooring for the second floor. I put the stairs in yesterday. I ended up a little short on stair material. I actually had to rip out the entire stairs because after I installed the stairs and started putting in my steps, I realized that something was cockeyed, and I thought maybe it was my cutting because I hadn't cut stringers before. I thought maybe I had just goofed something up, and so I started trying to adjust it with a saw. But then once I got up to the top, I realized that in kind of straightening out these ceiling joists, it had straightened out where my double header comes in for the top of the stairs, and it was off slightly. And so I had to take the whole thing apart and redo it. I didn't come this far on a project to have crooked stairs, so I just went ahead and redid it. And there's no better time to redo something than now while you're building. Once I get this flooring done up here and over the stairs, I'm gonna go ahead and start building my walls. And my walls are going to be about 12 feet apart up here, so I'll have a good section, probably 10 by 12 on the second floor of this building. We originally started out with a shed with, roof trusses, 6.5 foot ceilings, whatever. And I decided to build this and add a second floor because we needed the extra space. This 12 by 10 up here will be a space for some storage and also some long-term tool storage. So it's going to be part of our workshop, but it's also going to be an area for long-term storage, like Christmas decorations, things that we don't get out on a regular basis. So we installed the stairs to make it easier to come up and down. Fitting the stairs into a building this size was definitely not an easy task, but I was able to do that, and I think it worked out fairly well. I ran stairs off of stringers designed for decks, so I could have probably made my stairs a little steeper and made it fit in a little easier. Not having the experience with stringers, I wanted to go off of a template, so I bought, the deck templates. I'm going to use them, the deck stringers for the front porch of this thing, but I use those as a template to design my interior stairs. And I kind of like the fact that I've got, a nice, easy stairs to walk up in our workshop, especially when we're going to be carrying boxes and things upstairs. The stairs in our house are substantially steeper, and that was done because of the space concerns of putting a stairs into the attic space of that house. And I have to admit, I'm not a big fan of how steep those stairs are. I like the way that these stairs came out. They're super easy to go up and down. Once I get my walls up on here, I'm going to start building a gambrel roof, which is why, my flooring doesn't go all the way out to the sides. The gambrel roof will have a slight slant on the sides. I'm going to have to build out some eaves on our gambrel roof, so it will kind of have the gable, then come down at a slant, and then have eaves. And that's because we're maximizing the space that we can up here. So that second drop of our gambrel roof is going to be very steep. I need those eaves to kind of shoot out to basically push water and ice out away from the foundation of the building. As I go through this entire process, things change a lot and my plans change a lot. Up until this point in time, I only have 2 buckets full of scrap. I have a feeling as I build this out, those scrap buckets are going to fill up a little bit, and that's because the wood that I had purchased is going to be the wrong lengths for how I've decided to go ahead and build this out up here. But again, I'm going to try and use as little scrap as possible when doing this. Having to put in those eaves at the bottom of the gambrel roof will probably use up a lot of my smaller pieces anyway, so I'm not too concerned. I think I'm going to end up utilizing almost everything that I have, but like I said, so far I've used very little scrap, and I'm pretty excited about that. I like it when I can build something and not use a lot of scrap. So I'm gonna get started on the second floor. We do have severe weather moving in again. So as I build this, I have to kind of keep in mind where my stopping point is going to be and what the best way is to protect this. I don't have a clue of how the best way would be to protect something like this when we have high winds coming in. It's not like you can just throw a tarp over the project. The tarp could act like a parachute and cause more damage than just leaving it open to the weather. But I know that for what I'm doing here, getting this flooring in place is going to help reduce the amount of water that gets inside the building. And you know, we'll just have to see how this goes. Take it one day at a time. I'm building this completely by myself, and I don't have a lot of building expertise. You know, we built our house, and we did that using some contractors and hired hands who were specialized in certain areas like carpenters. We built our chicken coop, which was completely built out of scrap. I was just piecing things together. It's not a structural thing. And I've, you know, built things over the years, but this is the first time that I've actually taken on a project where I've designed and built the entire structure without any additional on-site resources helping me out. So I'm kind of learning as I go. Our channel is not a channel for pros. We're not trying to teach pros how to do their job. And we're definitely not trying to show you guys what the right way of doing something or the wrong way of doing something is, but we're gonna show you guys what we're doing on our projects, because that is the type of channel we are, and we're gonna share ideas with other do-it-yourselfers who are out there trying to figure out how to build something. Found these old nails out in our barn in a broken glass jar. They ought to work pretty well. Something I like to do when I'm installing my flooring or sheathing or anything is I like to put in a lot of nails, and part of that is because the more that this sheathing is attached to the joists underneath, the less movement you get out of it. And for something like a floor, it helps out a lot because it really secures those ceiling joists and the floor together. You don't have to do as many nails as I'm doing to have that effect. In an area of severe weather where we get a lot of twisting and turning, the more nails that I put in, the less chance of it coming loose are. And these boards, these OSB boards, aren't just flooring, but they're a structural component of the building. And that is something to keep in mind when you're building a structure like this, is that everything that you do is most likely having an impact on the structure in some sort of way. Building my walls, I'm cutting these 12 by 12s in half. So I'll have 6-foot studs, and then you add about 3 inches. They're gonna be about 6.5 feet in total height. And I'm placing them pretty close to the edge of that second floor. So I believe the sides of my gambrel roof are gonna be extremely steep. They're gonna be at about a 70-degree angle. Normally you'd wanna have about a 60-30, but with a 70-degree, I'll probably end up doing my top angle at about 35 degrees, and that should help with the look of it from the outside. But when we put the stairs in, I couldn't bring my interior walls closer in because of where the top of the stairs comes up. So I had to go with a steeper side angle on that roof. That also means that water coming off the roof is going to be shooting down much closer to the foundation. It's going to be hard to get that to run off. So I'm going to build some eaves that shoot out from the side. So even though I have that 75-degree angle coming down, the barn roof will kind of have some eaves that'll allow the water to kind of come out and then shoot off. And that's going to be the best way, I think, to do this and make everything work. It is getting pretty high up there. It's getting pretty steep, and I'm terrified of heights. So I don't know how I'm going to do the roof yet, but what I do know is that I've been kind of designing this building as I go and just trying to work through some of the complications that I've had. When my wife wanted to have the stairs, I agreed to the stairs, But then getting those stairs in there, I didn't want super steep stairs because we're going to be carrying boxes and things up the stairs. So this is just the best way that I could work them in there, and it means making a steeper side angle on that gambrel roof.